Next, we move on to the organization structure and functional description of department, division, and also units. The first one, there are functions which is for group finance. There are 7 functional elements that group finance oversees as regional business partner, which is financial control, corporate treasury, tax, performance reporting, and many more. There are also group human capital, group risk, and also group technology, which is Maybank Group technological projects are to be directed and driven in order to service the group long-term strategies objective. There are also group operations, Group P CEO's office, which is the teams are in charge of developing and distributing the group's strategies objective. They also oversees the server project to supply new capabilities and enter new market while promoting efficiencies, and also the cost management improvement of programs. Next, we move on to the information system background. Maybank's most significant key is the information system because the information system is to support all of the bank's activities. In Maybank, IS is developed to ensure company operations and assist decision-making management. Maybank makes extensive use of IS such as transaction processing system, office automation system, and management information system to provide great customer service. There are examples of modern innovation that combine hardware and software with great accuracy to be precise, with transactions such as ATMs and Maybank to You, which is the mobile internet banking.
Okay, let's look at IS component. There are 5 types of IS component, which is computer hardware, computer software, telecommunications, databases, and people. For computer hardware is an information processing technology in physical form. Next, computer software. There are 2 sorts of software, which is system software and application software for IS components. The third one is telecommunication. This component consists of a network by connecting the hardware together, and databases, which is a collection of information that may be obtained by questioning it with one or more particular criteria. Lastly is people. People are the information systems and users, which is like they utilize the information provided for their own purposes, and the information system primary goals is serve the end user. Okay, moving on to information system activities. There are also 5 types of information activities. The first one is input of data resource. The input activities must acquire and prepare data regarding business transactions and other events for processing. Number 2 is processing of data into informations. Data is often handled to processing tasks such as calculating, comparing, sorting, categorizing, and summarizing. The third one is output of information products. In the output activity, information in various formats is conveyed to end users and made available to them. The fourth one is storage of data resource, which is information system requires storage as a fundamental component. And last but not least is control of system performance. Well, an information system should provide feedbacks on its input, processing and output, as well as whether or not the system is performing to expectations.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Irfan Azha bin Muhammad Taib. I'm gonna present about the hardware and software that has been used by Maybank for their workstation. Okay, this is the motherboard that has been used by the Maybank for their hardware. It is used Asus Pro WS W480 is this motherboard is a Pro workstation motherboard that has been used for the Pro workstation. It is a good motherboard for an expert and it is useful for AI preparing, profound learning, activity, 3D delivering, and the media creation. So this motherboard is really suitable for the expert that need a powerful workstation. For the processor, Maybank use Intel Core i5 10 Gen, which is i5 10600 processor. This processor were using 6 core and 12 threads, and then the chipset is using 12 nanometer of processor. The base speed of the chipset is 3.3 GHz, which is faster. Then it is support up to 128 GB of RAM. The memory slot of the RAM is up to 2 memory slot, and it is support DDR4 RAM with the speed up to 2666 MHz. It is a better from the DDR3 RAM. For the random access memory, or known as RAM, we use the Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro DDR4 RAM, which is from the Corsair. This RAM, we're using DDR4 type of memory. It can deliver the best performance of RAM because it is using the DDR4. And the DDR4 is can provide a maximum bandwidth with the tight response of time. So this is the choices of the RAM that has been used by Maybank. For the GPU or graphic processing unit, the GPU that has been used is NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1660 Ti, which is from the Asus. The base clock for this GPU is around 1500, and the overclock speed is up to 1770 or 1770. The memory speed of the GPU is up to 12 gigabit per second. This GPU has 12 is using the GDDR6 type of memory, which is graphic memory. The power supply that needed that support is up to 120. This graphic processing unit or GPU support up to 4K resolution for their resolution of the screen. For the hard disk that has been used is from Seagate, which is the model Seagate Barracuda. The size of the hard disk is around 4 terabyte with 3.5 internal SATA hard disk size. This hard disk were up to 4 terabyte. The interface using the serial ATA, and the wattage of the hard disk is around 5.6 watt. The monitor that may be used is from the Asus, which is Asus model ProArt PA278QV with 27-inch using the IPS. So this monitor, we're using the IPS panel for the screens. It support up to 2K resolution and have 75 of Hz refresh rate. The color accuracy is 100% sRGB, which is provide a brighter colored and better. The response rate is around 5 millisecond to 10 millisecond. The user doesn't need to worry about the speaker to buy the extra speaker or external speaker, because this monitor already have a built-in speaker, so the user can use the speaker that has been built inside the monitor. This monitor is really suitable for the expert workstation, since the features that has been given is suitable with the expert and person who on art. Next, I will explaining about the software that has been used by Maybank on their information system. The software that has been used by the Maybank for their information system software consists of 3 software, which is all of them were from the Cyclo. The software consists of the online banking software, which is used for the web service on online banking. Next, the second software is Cyclo Mobile Banking, which is the online banking for the mobile application, which is for the iOS and the Android. And lastly, a Cyclo e-commerce, that the similar application for the e-commerce such as Shopee or Lazada. This e-commerce can be used to promote the merchant from the customer shop or customer internet merchant. So this part we're explaining about the performance of the IS, which is the first performance that need to be explained is transaction processing system, or known as TPS. The TPS can stabilize the database and reduce the risk of loss user information. It can be used to stable the database on the system and reduce the risk that can lose the user information. Next, it allows the user using the transaction with confidence. The user can have confidence on using the transaction with the support from the transaction processing system. The third, performance is able to improve the customer service and give them satisfaction. Customer service can be improved by using the transaction processing system and give the customer satisfaction on the usage of the TPS. Lastly, it able to process the large database in real time. All the database inside the system can be processed in a real time with a large scale. Next, Maybank online banking system. The Maybank online banking system is allow the user to make the transaction to the merchant. The user can make the transaction to the merchant that has been chosen by them. Then, the tracking Maybank online banking system provide the tracking, the payment, and the transaction history. The user can track their payment and history on the online banking system. Lastly, transfer funds to another Maybank or any other bank account in real time. The users are capable to transfer their funds to another Maybank account or any bank account such as Bank Islam, RHB, Bank Rakyat, or so on in a real time without waiting for another 2 or 3 days to transfer the funds. Maybank Auto Credit System, or MAS. It is about payment to multiple Maybank account that have same with any other bank's account. Maybank Auto Credit System support the bulk payment to the multiple Maybank account that from another person of same that have same amount. Then the Maybank Auto Credit System have a secure encrypted payment transaction, it is secure from any third party unauthorized access. Then the Maybank Auto Credit System provide the payment status report, whether the user can track their report from based on their payment from the Maybank Auto Credit System. Office Automation System, OAS. It reduces the workload of the staff. The staff will having a reduce of the workload on their office. Then the Office Automation System performance can provide the multitasking that control a higher amount of workload. Then the Office Automation System able to provide an access to the large data sets, report, and analytics of the system. Lastly, for the performance of the management information system, or known as MIS, able to access the variety of the data. The user can able to access the variety of the data inside the system. Then MIS able to monitor the inventory levels and determine the reordering requirement. The inventory level and the reordering requirement now can be able to to monitor by the user to ensure that it is meet the requirements that has been stated. And lastly, summarize the information that has been transferred from the organization transaction. All the information that has been transferred from other organization will be summarized by using the management information system.
Okay, the thing that we'll see in the next slide is SWOT analysis. As you can see, this is the SWOT analysis for Transaction Processing System, which is known as TPS. Let's go straight for the strength, which is the first one is they plan to help the distribution of the activities. The second is the system has been made suitable with the system needs by Maybank. Moving on to weakness, there are only two weaknesses, which is there are incompatibilities of software and hardware, and it has high cost of setup. The opportunity that TPS has is they have a high competitive within the distribution management system, and last but not least is the threats. The threats of TPS is more distribution management system has been created, and they also need more maintenance to avoid the system update. Okay, after TPS SWOT analysis, we'll now take a look at Maybank Online Banking System SWOT analysis. So the strengths, it can be accessed anytime and anywhere, and also faster transactions with a lower cost. As for the weakness, it is depending on the internet availability, and it has high risk of threat and danger. If we take a look at opportunity, it provides awareness of advantages of internet banking. It also integrations between the domestic banking and international markets, and it can be developed of modern base to avoid the system failure. Last but not least is the threats. Maybank online banking system has lacks of effective rules for transactions, the security threats, and there are too many competition from domestic banks. So basically, compared to TPS, Maybank online banking system is much more better. Okay, we're now moving on to SWOT analysis for Maybank auto credit system. The strength is the fund will be auto credits on the user accounts, and it makes easier for people to pay bills by auto credit the payment on the account. The weakness is just to unable to process if insufficient funds on the account. As for the opportunity, it can be applied by Maybank to you, busy user, and it enables the process of transactions from single account to multiple account. The only threat that Maybank auto credit system has is service charges applied. For the next slide is the second last for SWOT analysis, which is Office Automated System. The strength is well-developed information system that can be improve the operational efficiency, and it also allow Maybank to increase the customer base with the benefits obtained from another. The only weakness it has is unable to process if insufficient funds on the account. Same goes with Maybank auto credit systems. As for the opportunity, it can emerge e-commerce and social media marketing as a trend that provide a great opportunity in Maybank, and it also can emergence new market segments for business expansions opportunities. And lastly is the threats. It loses efficiency due to poor inventory management practices, and it consume more time on decision making. The final SWOT analysis for Maybank is Management Information System. The strength, as you can see, it can improving the problem by solving the capabilities on the Maybank, and it provides perfect solutions of the Maybank performance at any point of time. The weakness is the transactions can cause a fault of information when the transaction is not getting the right data, and also require a lot of power consumption to produce the expected result in a specific time. As for the opportunity, it reducing the cost of inventories and it able to control the flow of the materials. Lastly is the threats. It can cause a loophole on the system can turning into security flaw, and it threatens if the system design were not flexible enough.
We move on to the generate and evaluate alternative. The first one, which is the identifying the criteria for selection. The comparison of the alternative may be difficult and hard to be compared, but with the multiple purpose system, it may have a strength on the system inside the different areas. The identifying of the criteria for the selection is an alternative where the criteria of the information system will be identified to be implemented on the Maybank information system, beside the existing system. It is the system that may be used as a backup when any disaster happens to the information system. Next, which is generate various alternatives on obtaining system. This alternative requires Maybank to generate different types of alternatives towards obtaining the system. The alternative consists of a few factors which are the facilities management. Facilities management is the alternative that outsources all the information system support, and it is outsourcing the information system that has been supported by Maybank system. Then, this alternative implemented the custom-built software system, which is the alternative were required to implement the custom-built compare with the system that has been built for the Maybank information system as a backup for the implemented information system such as the transaction processing system.
Next, the first recommendation and the action plan is to measure the requirement of the EIS. The measure requirements are needed by the Maybank information system to measure all the requirements that needed by the company so that the requirements are met with this information system. Then the measure is requirement toward the EIS. The EIS need to be measured of the requirement to as a support for the information system. And lastly, the measurement of the requirement of the EIS has the direction of the statement in numerous situations to meet up the goals and performance. In order to meet up the goals and the performance, the measurement is important for of the EIS so that the requirements are leaning toward the goals and performance of the company. Next, the second action plan is obtain the crucial data to link between the EIS measures and data sources. These points are considered as to obtain the crucial data to link up with the measurement of the EIS that has been done earlier and the data sources. The crucial data will be obtained to link up to ensure that the measurement is synchronized with the data sources. Then the data will be collected between the top level management and the technical expert that need to be linked in the data sources of the information system. Lastly, is about the evaluating and designing the EIS. The designing and evaluating EIS is where the process of the design and evaluate the EIS that has been produced in the company. Then it is a planning after the measurement of the EIS and collect all the information sources from the record system. And lastly, it provide an efficient design, and it is recommended take the following structure of the information system into consideration after the evaluating that has been done for the EIS. The conclusion that can be made is the information system nowadays are useful for everyone. It is useful for everyone, especially for the company and the organization that stores all the data and information about their customers on a system database. Most of the companies nowadays are relying on the system database that provide a service where they can store all the data on the system. The organization, especially the banking organizations such as Maybank, are one of the organizations that usually rely on the information system to store all the data and customers' information in the same places. Maybank needed to store around 1 million of information and the data about their customers at the same time within the same places to avoid the loss of the data that may cause the threat to the customer. The threat that will customer facing is most usually a scam. The information system that has been used by the Maybank are helping them to reduce the workload of their staff at the same time. The information system will help them as the organization to store all the information and the data by providing the security to protect the data from any danger and threat from any unauthorized organization to access the data of their customer from the system. Even though there was a threat and danger on the information system, the information system can be considered as reliable and provide a strength toward the organization, as they only need to maintain the system and ensure that the system will updated to avoid the threat and the security risk. This can protect the customer and the staff information from the danger as it has been stored on the information system.